Guys, Triarius Wargaming here, and what I want to talk to you today is about a massive fucking wargame I'm planning. So, the goal, Historicon 2024, is to put on a massive game, participation game. And the game I'm going to do is the Battle of Strasbourg 357 AD. And the picture here, the eagle-eyed among you will notice this is actually my Imperial Roman collection that I took out to a convention game, participation game that I put on several years ago. But in this video, what I really want to do is talk about this battle I'm planning. Um, yeah, and I'm actually I mentioned this in a video I did a while ago, or a couple months ago, anyways, when I did my 3rd century Romans. I was interested in putting on this game, and the Ranger, who also has a YouTube channel, who, if you watch mine, I would imagine you probably watch his, but if you don't, mosey on over there. He has some great projects. But the Ranger mentioned he would be interested in jumping in on me with this, so it's kind of turned into a two-person project at this point. So in this video, what do I want to talk about? And this video is not going to entirely be a PowerPoint presentation, so don't worry there. But I want to go over my project goals and background, and I think just the PowerPoint is going to work well for that. And then I want to talk about some inspiration for this project. I want to show you what I've been doing for planning, especially since this is a two-person cooperative thing. I want to show you what I've done, and it's also a massive undertaking. And then I want to talk to you about my monthly updates that I'm going to be doing, and this month's update, or last month's rather, for May. Time of recording here is early June, so I want to update you on everything I complete per month for this project. So the goals here, the main goal is to deploy around 1,000 or more even miniatures to recreate the Battle of Strasbourg at Historicon 2024. So, this is something I've kind of had in my brain and just spitballing about. And once the Ranger decided to join in, at that point, it really became real. So now that I'm accountable to someone else, this actually has to happen. He says he will paint 400 of these, 200 Romans, 200 Germans. So I'm liable for about 600 troops, basically, or so. So um, that's the main goal, and kind of tying into those is, the goal is to do a participation game, multiplayer game. I'm thinking maybe like 6 to 8 players, somewhere in that range. And it really should be fun and engaging, fun being the key word. Um, and then also, I what has kind of drawn me to this bigger scale project is maybe trying to somewhat accurately recreate the dynamics of a large ancient battle. Now, obviously, is this going to be super realistic and exactly correct? No, like no one alive today has ever seen an ancient battle. So we kind of have to guess, obviously, and then we're playing with toys as well. They're not real humans. So obviously, you know, and if you're watching my channel, you're probably a war gamer. This is gonna be how accurate is it ever gonna really be, given the limit, all the natural limitations, right? But that being said, but with this kind of scale of game, what I'm thinking is reserves will be really important. Um, that kind of command and control, the formations. I think it'll might maybe be a little closer to what it's like having more troops on the table in terms of the importance of reserves, the importance of formations, and things like that. And that is something, if you're an Adrian Goldsworthy fan, he's a Roman military history writer, Roman history writer. The usage of reserves in Roman battles seems to be so key, and it's something I've never felt like I've been able to capture on tabletop games that I've done so far. So maybe this kind of scale will help out. So this picture over here, this is my, you got these figures actually will be in the game. They're ancient Germans, and this is the other side of this table that I showed before. So this is taken from that opposite corner. That was a six-player game that I put on at a convention in my home state, and actually it went really well. So this battle we're doing, the Battle of Strasbourg, this is our background information. Almost done with the presentation part of this video. But this Battle of Strasbourg, it's also called the Battle of Argentorum or something like that. It's fought during the late Roman period, 357 AD. And at this point, I would say, is the Roman Empire going through a rocky period? The answer is yes, but it's not at that kind of fatal terminal tipping point. It's not destined, I think, to fall at this point. And the Roman army is actually quite good. It's still extremely effective. There's this idea, I think it's becoming less common now, but that the late Roman army kind of like sucked. That is definitely not the case in this period. The army is actually extremely effective. What is kind of not effective is kind of the administration, I think, but we're not going to get into it. So we're going to stay on focus. So the Roman army, is debated that fought in this battle is somewhere around 10 to 15,000, perhaps, men strong. Opposing them are the Alemanni, a Germanic tribe. So the Alemanni had been kind of running wild in Gaul, pillaging, etc. And this Roman, basically Julian, who becomes emperor shortly after this battle, he's basically dispatched to try and restore order to Gaul. And this battle is kind of the summation of his campaign. And there's actually tons of really interesting episodes in his campaign to secure Gaul that I think might be better fitted for a skirmish type situation. I think there's a lot of scenario ideas there to explore, but this battle is kind of the seminal battle of the campaign. So this is kind of the map I've been working on for the deployment. So the Ranger is basically going to be taking on this side, and I am going to be doing this side. So he's doing one of the frontline infantry divisions, and then this supporting division. I'm going to be doing this division, the reserve, and then the cavalry. And then we have the Germans to deal with as well. So the Roman forces, it really depends on who you believe. Fundamentally, I mean, there's excuse me. There's only one primary source for the battle, which is by Ammianus Marcellinus, and I'm going to keep the ramble to a minimum here. He wrote the record of the battle. The question is, the numbers have been doubted or by modern historians or historians over time. So the Romans, I mean, I think we're pretty positive they're in the 10 to 12,000 range. Ammianus, I think, gives a massive number for the Germans. For the modern estimates I've seen, 30,000 seems like the most credible number. So about 30,000 to 10,000. 10,000 on the Romans, 30,000 on the German side. Hans Delbruck, I mean, he says that the German army might have actually even been smaller than the Roman army. It's all lies, blah, blah, blah. It really depends on who you believe, but being conservative, the Germanic army probably did have a numerical advantage on the Romans, even if it wasn't massive. They probably did. Hans Delbruck is kind of the outlier there. So we've looked at some of the background, the goals. Next, what I'd like to do is show you the inspiration for this project. Why am I undertaking this? So the first person to blame, for my inspiration on this is Yorkshire Gamer. So I always listen to his podcast. I absolutely love his podcast. It's my favorite wargaming one out there that you can stream. There's other good ones out there, of course, but this one, I love to I love to listen to this like on a long drive, stuff like that. So yeah, it's great, and it's really, that is one of the key things that really got me started about this project, got me inspired. So he's actually, he's good at pushing his agenda. He's all about the big battles. His most recent one actually was with Early War Miniatures, this company, and it's actually got me really looking into the 20 mil World War II stuff. But that is a conversation for another time. But he did some weeks or months ago do an interview, and sorry for speeding through this really fast. Well, we'll see if we can get to it. Yes, here it is. This one with Martin Kelly, Big Gaming in the USA. So, Yorkshire Gamer, if you don't know, he does big Italian Wars games, among other things. His whole thing is massive games with thousands of miniatures. One of the questions on the podcast he asked his guests is, he asked something, it's like, is 90 miniatures, is that an army or a pike block? And the correct answer is, of course, that is a pike block. So Martin Kelly talked about these big games he has put on at Historicon, and this is really one of the huge things that made me take the leap, because it just clicked with me. I highly recommend you listen to this podcast if you don't already. But this interview, these pictures and things, they just really clicked with me and kind of inspired me that this was something that I really wanted to do myself. So Martin Kelly actually has his own blog. It's called College of Kings. And this blog is also really awesome too. Lots of inspiration there. So he does some of this modern stuff, but he's mainly a Italian Wars guy. And sorry for the screen recording jumping around here, but he does these big projects. He does a ton of research. So he's doing the Battle of Pavia. So he's actually looking at the battle site today, and is like, these gates, I guess, are a feature there. And he's like actually like trying to make the gates. But what I love about his blog is on some of the posts, he'll be like, all right, what do I need? I literally need 100 of these miniatures, 200 of these, blah, blah, blah. Just undertaking these things on a enormous scale. And, you can check this out on your own time. I won't scroll through the whole blog here. But the College of Kings one, it's really good. He's done a number of things. So he's done the Italian Wars. I'm not even gonna pronounce it, but the Klemensky uprising. That's I believe actually in modern day Ukraine. Just I think the Italian Wars is the coolest stuff he does, but um, the Klemensky uprising, like I like barely even heard of this before this, kind of checking out this stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna go on to my last piece of inspiration, and that is the Big Red Bat. So if Simon Miller is his actual name. Big Red Bat, you can see from this banner the kind of games he's putting on. He goes on a number of different podcasts. I've listened to him a bunch. He's awesome. He writes To the Strongest Rules, which I play myself, which are, I think a really great rule set personally. That's probably the game I played the most. I love it. It's awesome. but he puts on these absolutely massive, spectacular games. These are from his most recent one, and you can just see the scale of these games. And he actually has a like look at all those war elephants, these massive pike blocks, just massive troops. I mean, this is like the closest you're gonna get to like a real battle in 28 mil. Like, let's be real. Um, so this stuff, I mean, here's the game that he just put on in 20. You know, this like I feel like almost looking at this scale, it looks like 15 or 10 mil or something, but this is 28 mil. Like, look at that pike block. It's like it's insane. But he does this for a number of different periods. I won't like if you want to look at them, you can check out his blog. He doesn't, he like this is just one of his massive armies. So that's all I want to talk about with inspiration. So let's get on to the planning. So third shot at recording this part, because for some reason it did not save. But anyways, I did want to talk to you about uh, the the organizing this project. So this is a huge project. This is not something I think that can just be left up to fate. So I basically set up this big Google Doc to organize all the different aspects of the project. So right now we're looking at the Roman tab, which is all we'll really look at for right now. I mean, I made tabs for the Germans, gaming aids, terrain, miscellaneous resources, blah blah blah, whatever to help. But anyways, important project information up here. The main, I mean, really the main key thing here is keeping track of the miniatures painted, who's responsible for painting what, and making sure things are accomplished on a timeline. So our big date here, Historicon, July 17th, 2024, approximately 13 months away. So I have a whole year to do it. The other date here, Carnage, that is like a local convention to me. It's on October 27th weekend. So my goal is to, put on a game there to do kind of like a practice for the main thing. And I'll do a different scenario and stuff. But the goal there is to just try things out, with the rules and coordinating things, just see if any like issues really come up. There's another convention near me in like the neighboring state in April, so I'll probably go to that as well. But basically, here you can see divided up everything, and how it's going to be done. Basically, who's responsible for what, you know, notes, stuff like that. So over here, I'm kind of rushing through because this is the third time recording it. So I want to go to bed, but basically planning things out. What are the goals? So basically, this was everything I painted for May, so due on June 1st. My actual target goal was 33 miniatures. I ended up painting 86 miniatures. So June, I set my target goal to be 72. And so what are we basically painting? A bunch of infantry. I actually got this command base done. I just added this on here because I just got this done right now. My goal right now, so I did this command base. I started painting in on the Jovians, which was an infantry regiment. We'll see if the cavalry gets done or not. That might end up being a July thing, but we'll also try and get the Ridges done. So this will end up being three kind of units, I guess you could say, of Romans. So two Jovians would have 2 units and the Ridges one. So yep, that's kind of the planning side of things. So yeah, we'll wrap that up here. I already painted I already showed you those. I painted those in April, so not counting those. So what do we got? We got a command figure. So he's going to be a cavalry commander with his banner bearer, their Westwind miniatures. We got a heavy cavalry unit I did as well. This is a unit of generic late infantry. They're kind of Arthurian based. We got some archers. They're going to fit on the back of units. We've got a unit of Auxilia Palatina, so those guys are pretty hardcore troops. And then we've got another unit of Auxilia Palatina hardcore troops. Yep, so that's what I did. I know that went by kind of fast. Do a little slow backtrack. This was really like speed painting to get all these done, especially with the amount of work I had this month. So they're not perfect as I take you back through. I want to show you, yeah, this Arthurian unit a little bit. So the goal as well with this project is to get multiple armies out of it. So these guys I did kind of Arthurian inspired to just give me more armies once this project is complete. So they're not all the same. But I think these will fit in well as regular Roman troops as well. And here is that heavy cavalry unit as well. They're a mix of foundry, uh, gripping beast, and footsore miniatures as well. And then the commanders here, these are actually Westwind miniatures. So thank you for watching. I'm going to stop the video here and